Welcome back to the days. Today we will learn about the explosive situation brewing between Stephanie Johnson and her dangerous ex-boyfriend Jeremy Horton that threatens to tear Salem apart this fall. Stephanie's literary success becomes her nightmare. Stephanie Johnson has achieved remarkable success as a best-selling author with her steamy romance novel One Stormy Night, published under the mysterious pseudonym Anastasia Sands. However, this literary triumph is quickly becoming her worst nightmare, as the intimate details she incorporated from her real-life relationships are drawing unwanted attention from her past lovers. The book's provocative content has already caught the eye of Philip Kiriakis, who recognized personal details from their own intimate encounters, raising alarm bells about who else might connect the dots. What makes this situation particularly dangerous is that Stephanie drew heavily from her most toxic and abusive relationship, her horrific experience with Jeremy Horton, a man who once tried to drown her in a hot tub during a violent rage. The specific scenes she included in her novel contain such detailed and personal elements that Jeremy would undoubtedly recognize them as their shared experiences, creating a powder keg situation that could explode at any moment. The return of Salem's most dangerous ex. Multiple sources confirm that Michael Rourke, formerly known for his role as Travis Crawford on The Young and the Restless, is set to debut in Salem this October in what appears to be a recast of the menacing Jeremy Horton character. This timing is no coincidence, as it aligns perfectly with the growing tension surrounding Stephanie's book and the mounting fear she's been experiencing about her past coming back to haunt her. Jeremy's last appearance in Salem was in 2007 when he supposedly left town to clean up his act, but clearly his promised transformation never materialized. The character of Jeremy Horton has been strategically mentioned multiple times in recent episodes after years of silence, with Steve Johnson specifically discussing the dark and abusive nature of Jeremy's relationship with his daughter Stephanie. This deliberate seeding of storyline elements suggests that the writers have been carefully preparing viewers for Jeremy's dramatic return and the chaos that will undoubtedly follow. Anastasia Sands' secret phone creates dangerous opportunities. Stephanie's use of a separate phone for her Anastasia Sands persona has created multiple vulnerabilities that Jeremy could easily exploit. During the upcoming Q&A sessions she conducts using this device, Stephanie will find herself fielding increasingly uncomfortable questions that suggest someone has been studying her work far too closely. These interactions will leave her feeling exposed and violated, as if someone is peering directly into her most private moments and experiences. The psychological warfare will intensify when Stephanie realizes that her anonymous caller possesses intimate knowledge that only someone who lived through those experiences with her could possess. This revelation will send chills down her spine as she begins to understand that Jeremy has not only read her book, but has identified her as the author despite her attempts to maintain anonymity through the pseudonym. Terror in the town square during the blackout. The situation reaches a terrifying crescendo during Salem's upcoming blackout, when Stephanie ventures into the town square completely unaware that she's being stalked by a dangerous predator. Moving through the darkness with false confidence, she believes her identity as Anastasia Sands remains secure, not realizing that Jeremy has been methodically tracking her movements and studying her patterns for weeks. The blackout provides Jeremy with the perfect cover to approach Stephanie without being recognized by other Salem residents who might intervene. As she navigates the darkened square, conducting what she believes is routine business related to her author persona, Jeremy watches from the shadows, planning his moment to reveal himself and confront her about the book that has consumed his thoughts since its publication. The explosive confrontation that changes everything. When Jeremy finally reveals himself to Stephanie during the week of September 29th to October 3rd, the confrontation will be nothing short of explosive. He will admit that he not only read One Stormy Night, but recognized every intimate detail she wrote about their relationship, including the specific moments she thought no one else would ever understand. His declaration that he realized part of his love story with Stephanie was captured in the novel will send waves of terror through her entire being. Jeremy's twisted interpretation of their abusive relationship as a love story reveals just how dangerous his mental state has become during his years away from Salem. He will confront Stephanie with quotes from her own book, using her words against her as evidence that she still harbors feelings for him, despite the trauma he inflicted upon her. This psychological manipulation will demonstrate that Jeremy has learned nothing from his past behavior and has actually become more calculating and dangerous in his obsession. Stephanie's defiant rejection triggers violent rage. Despite her terror, Stephanie will find the strength to definitively reject Jeremy's advances, making it crystal clear that she wants absolutely nothing to do with him and that their relationship was abusive, not romantic. Her firm no will serve as the catalyst for Jeremy's explosive transformation from manipulative ex-lover to dangerous predator. Years of rejection and isolation will culminate in this moment, causing Jeremy to completely lose control of his carefully maintained facade. The rejection will trigger Jeremy's deepest insecurities and rage, reminding him of the powerlessness he felt when Stephanie originally escaped his control. His anger will manifest in increasingly erratic and threatening behavior, as he refuses to accept that Stephanie has moved on and built a successful life without him. This explosive reaction will make it clear that Jeremy's return to Salem was never about reconciliation, but about reclaiming what he believes belongs to him. Alex Kiriakis becomes an unwitting target. Stephanie's relationship with Alex Kiriakis adds another dangerous element to this volatile situation, as Jeremy's possessive rage extends to anyone who has taken his perceived place in Stephanie's life. Alex's proposal that he and Stephanie move in together represents everything Jeremy cannot tolerate, another man claiming the woman he still considers his property. This romantic development will transform Alex from a supportive boyfriend into a direct target for Jeremy's escalating violence. Jeremy's research into Stephanie's current life has undoubtedly revealed the depth of her relationship with Alex, creating a scenario where both Stephanie and Alex face imminent danger. Jeremy's twisted logic will convince him that removing Alex from the equation is necessary to reclaim Stephanie, setting the stage for a confrontation that could prove deadly for Salem's newest power couple. The kidnapping plot that terrorizes Salem. When Stephanie's rejection proves that she cannot be manipulated or convinced to return to him willingly, Jeremy will resort to the ultimate act of control, kidnapping. His plan will be methodical and calculated, taking advantage of his knowledge of Stephanie's routines and the trust she has built within the Salem community. The kidnapping will not be a spontaneous act of passion, but a carefully orchestrated crime designed to force Stephanie into submission. Jeremy's abduction of Stephanie will send shockwaves through Salem, particularly affecting Steve and Kayla Johnson, who will be forced to relive the nightmare of their daughter being in mortal danger. The kidnapping will also serve as a devastating revelation for Alex, who will finally understand the true extent of the danger that Stephanie's past has brought into their lives, transforming their romantic future into a desperate fight for survival. This developing crisis promises to deliver some of the most intense and emotionally charged episodes in Days of Our Lives history, as Stephanie's literary success becomes the catalyst for a terrifying ordeal that will test every relationship in Salem. Jeremy Horton's return represents not just a threat to one woman, but a danger that could consume multiple families in its wake, proving that some chapters from the past are too dangerous to ever be closed. Monday, September 22nd. Shadows of regret and the weight of worry. We begin our week under a sky heavy with unspoken burdens, the kind that settle on the shoulders like an autumn fog rolling in from the river. It's Monday, and in the grand tradition of Salem's paternal wisdom, Brady Black, ever the reformed rogue with a heart as vast as the Pacific, takes his son Tate aside for a conversation that could redefine their bond. Brady, you recall, has walked through fire himself. The bottle's cruel grip, lost loves that left scars deeper than any knife. Now, with eyes softened by years of hard-won lessons, he urges Tate to make things right. What misstep has young Tate taken? Perhaps a hasty word to a sweetheart, or a youthful folly that echoes the very mistakes Brady once made. Imagine the scene. Father and son on the weathered bench outside the Brady pub, the salt air mingling with the scent of fresh-baked Irish soda bread from inside. Brady's voice, gravelly yet gentle, cuts through the breeze. Son, life's too short for regrets that fester. Fix it now, before the tide pulls it all under. Tate, with the fire of youth in his veins, nods slowly, the weight of paternal expectation mingling with his own budding resolve. It's a moment that reminds us, at our age, how swiftly the years slip away, How one earnest plea from a parent can steer a wayward ship back to safe harbor. But not all in Salem seeks redemption. Some, like the cunning Sophia, revel in the art of deception. Ah, Sophia, that sly fox with a smile as sweet as stolen honey, tricks Holly in a ploy that drips with youthful mischief. Holly, our wide-eyed ingenue forever chasing dreams amid the town's tangled romances, falls hook, line, and sinker into Sophia's web. Is it a harmless prank born of teenage rivalry, or something sharper, laced with jealousy over a shared crush? Picture Holly's face, flushed with excitement, as Sophia spins her tale of a secret rendezvous or a hidden treasure. The betrayal, when it dawns, will sting like salt in a fresh wound, teaching Holly and us that trust, once shattered, requires the patience of a gardener tending parched soil. Yet in this trickery, there's a dramatic undercurrent. Sophia's eyes gleam with a hunger for control, hinting at shadows from her own fractured past that may soon spill into the light. Across town, Johnny DiMera's heart aches with a worry that no amount of DiMera bravado can mask. He confides in his beloved Chanel, his words tumbling out like leaves in a gale. Johnny, the dashing heir with a soul as sensitive as fine china, frets over the uncertainties clouding their future. Perhaps the lingering echoes of family feuds or the precarious balance of their budding dreams. Chanel, ever the pillar of grace with her warm laugh and unyielding optimism, listens with those soulful eyes, her hand steady on his. Their embrace, framed against the golden hues of a setting sun filtering through the DiMera Manor's stained glass windows, is a balm for the soul. It's the kind of raw vulnerability that makes us older viewers nod knowingly. After all, haven't we all whispered our fears to a loved one under the cover of twilight? Meanwhile, a quieter harmony unfolds as Rafe Hernandez and Sarah Horton bond in unexpected ways. Rafe, the steadfast cop whose badge has seen more heartbreak than triumphs, shares a laugh with Sarah over coffee at the town's quaint diner. Sarah, with her resilient spirit forged in the fires of lost children and fractured marriages, finds in Rafe a kindred soul, one who understands the ache of duty's heavy yoke. Their conversation meanders from light-hearted banter about Salem's latest gossip to deeper confessions of loneliness in a town that never sleeps. It's a gentle spark, not yet ablaze, but one that warms the chill of isolation, reminding us that friendship, in its purest form, is love's soft prelude. And then, the dagger to the heart. Marlena Evans, our eternal psychiatrist and North Star of wisdom, receives disturbing news that sends ripples through the very fabric of her world. Marlena, oh, how we've cherished her through possessions by the devil himself, through the loss of John and the trials of raising a family amid chaos, sits in her office, the phone receiver trembling in her elegant hand. The voice on the other end delivers a blow, perhaps a health scare that whispers of mortality's shadow, or a revelation about a long-buried family secret resurfacing like a ghost from the crypt. Her face, usually a portrait of composed empathy, crumples in a way that breaks ours. John, sensing the storm, rushes to her side, but the damage is done. The news hangs like a pall, forcing Marlena to confront vulnerabilities she's long counseled others through. For us seniors, this hits close to home. It's the stark reminder that even the strongest oaks bend in the wind, and grace lies in allowing others to steady us. Tuesday, September 23rd. Revelations and raging tempers. Tuesday dawns with the crisp bite of autumn, but in Salem, the air crackles with revelations that could upend empires. E.J. DiMera, that enigmatic force of nature with his chiseled jaw and calculating gaze, pulls Stephanie Johnson into the shadows of the DiMera study for a tete-a-tete that reeks of intrigue. E.J. reveals his plan. A grand scheme, no doubt laced with corporate maneuvers or vengeful plots against rival clans. Stephanie, sharp as a tack and twice as quick, listens with arched brows, her mind racing to parse the opportunities from the pitfalls. Is E.J. courting her for an alliance in the cutthroat world of Kiriakis' dealings? Or is there a flicker of something more personal, a spark amid the scheming? The room, heavy with the scent of aged leather and polished oak, feels charged, as if the walls themselves hold their breath. EJ's voice, smooth as aged whiskey, lays bare ambitions that could reshape Salem's power grid, leaving Stephanie and us teetering on the edge of alliance or betrayal. Not far away, Maggie Horton Kiriakis, the matriarch whose apple pie recipes could mend more fences than any diplomat, confronts Tony DiMera with the ferocity of a lioness guarding her pride. Maggie, with her silver-streaked hair pinned back and eyes blazing like embers, corners Tony in the Kiriakis' living room, her finger jabbing the air like an accusation. What treachery has Tony woven this time? Meddling in family finances, or whispering poisons into Victor's ghostly ear? Tony, ever the polished gentleman with a conscience as tangled as his family tree, stammers defenses, but Maggie's unyielding stare peels away layers of pretense. This clash isn't just words. It's a thunderclap in the quiet storm of legacy, echoing the battles Maggie has fought since her days as a young widow rebuilding from ashes. We feel the drama swell, knowing one wrong word could fracture alliances forged over decades. The heat escalates into a bonfire as Alex Kiriakis, Brady Black, Philip Kiriakis, and Xander Cook clash in a heated argument that shakes the foundations of the Kiriakis empire. Gather in the opulent study, surrounded by maps of shipping routes and ledgers stained with ambition's ink. These alpha males circle like wolves over a fresh kill. Alex, the brooding newcomer with a chip on his shoulder the size of Titan Industries. Brady, nursing grudges from betrayals past. Philip, the prodigal son forever proving his worth. And Xander, the wild card with a Scottish burr and a heart of conflicted gold. They hurl barbs that cut deeper than any blade. Is it over inheritance, a botched deal, or the eternal dance of who wears the family crown? Fists clench, voices rise to a roar that rattles the crystal decanters, and for a heart-stopping moment, we fear fists will fly. Yet beneath the fury lies the raw ache of brotherhood, reminding us that in families like these, love and loathing are but two sides of the same tarnished coin. In a softer vein, Chad DiMera opens his soul to Kat. Ah, that enigmatic Kat, with her mysterious allure and eyes that hold secrets like locked diaries. Chad, the widower whose heart still mourns Abigail's light, shares his concerns over the DiMera shadows encroaching on his children's innocence. They sit by the fire in the DiMera boathouse, the lap of water against what a soothing counterpoint to his turmoil. Kat listens, her touch light as a feather on his arm, offering insights that bridge the gap between despair and dawn. It's an intimate exchange, laced with the tentative hope of new beginnings, and we can't help but root for Chad's healing, knowing how grief's grip loosens only in the warmth of understanding. Wednesday, September 24th. Blossoms of optimism amid lingering doubts. Midweek brings a breath of fresh air, like the first cool gust heralding fall's arrival, as Johnny and Chanel cling to cheerfulness and optimism in their quest for adoption. Amid the sterile halls of the agency, paperwork strewn like autumn leaves, they beam at each other with dreams of tiny feet pattering through their home. Johnny's hand on Chanel's swelling belly, if whispers of her pregnancy hold true, speaks volumes of their shared joy, a defiant light against the DiMera darkness. They laugh over baby names, envisioning playdates in the town square, their optimism a shield against the world's cruelties. Yet, we sense the undercurrent of fragility. One signature, one unforeseen hurdle, could shatter this idyll. It's a scene that swells our hearts, evoking memories of our own cradle-side vigils, where hope was the lullaby that rocked away fears. Paulina Price, the indomitable force with a laugh that could chase storm clouds, encourages her nephew Theo Carver to step into the DiMera fold. Over soul food at the Price family table, collards steaming, cornbread golden, Paulina lays out the allure. Power, purpose, a chance to carve his name into the family's storied ledger. Theo, the tech whiz with a gentle soul, hesitates, haunted by the DiMera's bloody history. But Paulina's words, wrapped in auntly affection, ignite a spark. Child, life's too precious to sidestep your destiny. Grab it with both hands, and let it lift you. Her encouragement isn't mere pep talk. It's a dramatic pivot, potentially thrusting Theo into webs of intrigue that could test his mettle like never before. Kayla Brady Johnson, our compassionate doctor with hands that have healed more than bodies, senses Stephanie's concerns bubbling beneath her poised exterior. In the hushed confines of University Hospital, amid the beep of monitors and scent of antiseptic, Kayla draws Stephanie aside. Stephanie, juggling corporate ladders and emotional tightropes, unloads her fears. Perhaps EJ's revelations from the day before, or the strain of secrets weighing like lead. Kayla's embrace, firm and knowing, offers not just advice but the solace of sisterhood. "We've weathered worse, darling," she murmurs, her voice a lifeline. It's a poignant reminder of the bonds that sustain us through life's tempests, especially as we navigate our own golden years with grace.